Lastly, I'd like to talk about the future operation schedule and update.
In the summer of 2024, we unified the operation schedule of the Japanese and international versions of the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In January 2025, the game celebrated its 10th anniversary, and as part of the 10th anniversary year, we introduced new campaigns, including the Global Dokkan campaign in July and the Transcendent Dokkan campaign in September. Thanks to the support of all our players, we received an overwhelming amount of positive feedback, especially regarding the character animations. However, we also received comment through the service noting that the campaign periods for the anniversary campaign and the Global Dokkan campaign felt too short, and that the annual schedule was difficult to understand. After through discussions within the operation team, to better satisfy our players, we have decided to hold the Transcendent Dokkan campaign in July and the Global Dokkan campaign in September. If you imagine the flow of the previous July Tanabata campaign held in Japanese version and the September Worldwide Celebration campaign, it may be easier to understand. Additionally, we are currently preparing to deliver an even more powered up version of the September Global Dokkan campaign. Please stay tuned for further updates regarding campaign details and specific schedules.
Okay, guys, so we're back for a Dokkan Battle video. I wanted to let Geppy and, I don't know, just, I guess, a random staffer who's voicing that, or whoever that is. Is that Ken? I don't think that's Ken. I don't think it's Ken. If it is Ken, I guess I apologize to Ken, but that doesn't sound, I don't think that's Ken, but, I mean, I don't know. I guess, okay, anyway, okay. So, this video is kind of centered around this right here. Now, I had forgotten they said this. This is interesting right here. So, we're currently preparing to deliver an even more powered up version of GDC. Even more powered up version of the September Global Dokkan campaign. So, okay, I'm going to tell y'all flat out. I mean, if Dokkan, if you guys want to talk like that, I mean, then I will raise my expectations to meet it. I thought GDC 2025 was the best celebration in Dokkan history. I mean, if we're talking like this, I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy talk right here. This is, you know, LeBron at 3 rings saying 3 is good, but why don't we go for 8? Like, they dropped, I think, the best celebration in Dokkan history. And they're just like, yep, we're doing a better version of that. Okay. I will hold y'all to that, Geppy. I mean, if Geppy comes through, I mean, who knows what GDC could be. I mean, we finally get that Destined Namek stuff. Maybe this celebration could be really crazy. It's going to be right when NFL season kicks off. Woo! It's going to be good times, it looks like. Okay. So, I did just want to get this right here at the start of the video, because, again, this is kind of like what the whole video is based off of. So, like, okay, look at this. So, we received comments through surveys noting that the campaign periods for the Anniversary Campaign Global Dokkan campaign fell too short. Now, you know what's funny is, I mean, I don't know how I'd word this, but if they cannibalized some of these, like, in-between monthly celebrations to just extend the grandeur and length of the big celebrations, that would help the game. There is a tremendous amount of players who do just drop off the game out of the big celebrations. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's just kind of like the way it is, right? So that's why, like, you know, people, you know, like, well, oh, like, we got to do, like, this type of character. It's like, no, they're just going to drop the crazy, like, top tier shit, right? That's when all the eyes are on the game. That's when they're looking to make the most money. It's like, it all kind of, like, hovers around that, right? So, my interpretation of this, by the way, so, like, they say this, and then immediately, right, so now we're going to put TDC in July and the Global Dokkan campaign in September. If you imagine the flow of the previous Tanabata campaign and the September Worldwide Download Celebration, it'll be... So basically they're saying they're going back to the old schedule. Like, and this to me seems to be feedback from Japanese players. That's at least the way I read this, right? Or understand this or whatever. Feedback from Japanese players. So what I've done is I've assembled a listing of what I think the game is going to look like over the next couple of months. This is until the start of GDC. Now, I could be wrong about a lot of the stuff here or something. I mean, if I had done one of these before the Xenoverse campaign, I would not have predicted that, or like I would have been way off, right? And then like my whole kind of like timeline would have been thrown off, right? So certainly something I can't anticipate could show up, which could vastly change this. I would not be against that either. I mean, switching it up always can be fun. Although I think I would say it does feel as though, I love the God Vegeta being in the game, but like this, it's fun. Last year's Golden Week was, you know, the weakest Golden Week ever. This year is like kind of, I kind of like don't really count it so much. Because of like just with the God Vegeta celebration and stuff like that, feels like that kind of cannibalized a little bit of what Golden Week might have had. So it's like hopefully next year we just go back to the good Golden Weeks that we had 2024, 2023, and previous years and stuff. Okay, so let's just go through what I'm thinking we're gonna be seeing, right? Okay. So in a couple of days, I believe we're going to see the alternate art summons. Now, this is the thing. Oh my God, we have to be like, dude, like, I mean, I don't know. A lot of it did seem like it was coming from the French players. I mean, they're of course allowed to have their own opinions, but you want to talk about doom posting and just general, like, putting out shit out there. It's like, guys, let's like hold up and see what this looks like. Because the same fucking thing happened with carnivals. They did this shit where they go, oh, it's over. They're pushing it way, oh my God. This time next year it's gonna be crazy. Like, let's see what's gonna happen, right? They dropped carnivals, and they did not really do any like shady, oh my God, like people like hear a new phrase or a new term and they start throwing that shit around, the FOMO, fear of missing out, right? I remember that being a big thing when people were discussing carnivals. We could pull that up 4 years ago, and guess what? Nothing came of that. Like, they wanted to come up with a different, I guess, level of LR compared to just what the normal yellow coins were, right? Which had really fallen off and weren't really that crazy. Well, I guess that's not true, because in 2022, we did have some really crazy yellow coin LRs. Like Golden Frieza is one of the best ever, for sure. But, you know, they wanted to get that carnival, like, type character next to the DOKKAN'S. The only negative about carnival, obviously the coins, right? No one argues about that. But I would say a negative for the carnivals is that Dokkan has been pretty stingy in carnival characters returning. In particular, for global, there is a certain character where it's really bad for. I believe this site does have, yeah, we do. Okay, so you guys remember how we do this. We only count new unit banners. That's it. I don't give a shit about the Black Friday and New Year's. Oh, the dates are on this too? Oh, this is good. Yeah, dude, he's been on 2 banners. 2? The fucker's been on 2 banners. 1/17/2024. He was on 1 banner in 2024 and 1 banner in 2025. Is that not insane? That's crazy. That, like, if you're looking to hammer home, I think, a real negative point about carnivals, it's the stinginess in them. This is crazy. He's been on 2 banners? That's it? That's nuts, dude. Like, that is too, like, no way. Now, this is because of the global sync, by the way, is the reason that it's like that. Because if we just, so I believe the site doesn't have it for JP banners yet. Let me go on a field trip quickly and pull them up. Yeah, here, see, this is the difference. Because this was a same time release for global and JP, Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, but only on JP was, this is Omega's return. And so that got fucked up in limbo, right, with this Omega. Okay. But besides that, carnivals end up. But basically, my whole point is, like, let's let the alternate art shit drop before we're like, oh my God, it's over. you know, how far are they taking it? They're so greedy. It's like, yeah, guys, unfortunately, we are playing a gacha game, man. Like, we know how it is. Like, they are gonna try and make money. Whoa, what a shock. A gacha game, man. No fucking way, dude. So right here, so they talk about it. But this is what's interesting about this to me, is this right here. We're preparing other methods to recruit these characters. So we'll see this. I was initially like, oof, this could be scary if they were going to use this to sell upgraded, updated, better super attack animations. That could, I definitely could set a bad precedent. But they said that's not the case. The only difference is the arts, and that's it. So, I don't, like, this is going to be like a whale thing or something. I'm sorry. I just can't imagine this being a big deal. It's just, no way. Let me see it drop in game, and oh my god, it's actually like so toxic for the game. Like, let's let that happen first, and then we can complain about it. I do think there's going to be an RE event. Now, this hasn't been announced yet. This is just my guess, estimation, expectation. Very possible I'm wrong on this, but I'm thinking that an RE event will be announced in a couple of days. By the way, I got a couple of things pulled up. So we have the version 6.2.0, which is coming out on JP. This is the batch data download and download as needed, which they do say is going to reduce the size of the app by 2.5 gigs, which does seem pretty good. This, I believe, will probably come just in the update that's missing on global in June. For whatever reason, they're pushing all this until June on global. I don't have the answer for that, or even really a good theory. I don't have an answer or a good theory for that. No clue. And then maintenance for this is going to be the 18th or 19th. So I'm expecting we'll see the alternate art characters. I have no idea who they're going to be. Maybe Beerus and Whis could be one. It's hard to say for sure. I don't know. But we'll see these characters probably tweeted out. I don't know, the 17th or the 18th, something like that. By the way, this kicks ass right here. This Yu Hakusho Ending 5. Oh my god, it's so good. Anyway, so we got that. And I had something from Rick pulled up right here. Is that what I was... Oh, yeah, right here. This is just talking about the global. So Rick correctly predicted what was going to happen with these updates, right? So, very good right there. Okay, so there's that, right? And I think we'll probably see this RE event announced with whatever the alternate art characters are, and then come out on the 22nd. 29th, I think this is just going to be the Tao DOKKAN'S slot, is what this is going to be. Yeah, guys, we're coming up. Yeah, that's our next 1 year later character is Tao, huh? Did I not? Oh, I'm on. My bad. There we go. Let's go and take a look. What was the exact day he dropped? The 30th. Yeah. Remember, you don't want to look too much at the actual, like, because I see people doing this. Oh, but that character drops on like always on the 30th or the 31st, something like that. You want to look at the days of the week. It's the days of the week with the number is what matters. So it's like Tao is going to drop, or well, that time slot. It's probably going to be one of the last couple of days of the month. But the last couple of days of the month are on the weekend, right? They don't drop shit on the weekend like that. So that means it's going to be the 29th is what's going to happen. I'm pretty confident in that. If not the 29th, I think the 28th. I do not think it'll be the 1st. I think it'll be the 29th or 28th is when we'd see it drop. Who knows? That character, I'd expect something small. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say TN, DOKKAN'S TN, and then the yellow coin LR is going to be second form cell. How about that? Just throwing something out there. And I feel like maybe then that could lead into TDC Tanabata maybe being Gohan and Cell. I think people would be pretty down with Gohan and Cell. And then if we had like a yellow coin LR second form Cell, who was really crazy, that could then support what I would want, which is a new perfect Cell. This guy, and there's one more, the tech one. This guy right here. Those are perfect cells, right? We have not had a perfect, like, this guy, this is a 2015 character. This is a 2015 character. And this is a 2016 character. Right, so we have not had we got 3 perfect cells in the first 2 years of Dokkan and 0 since. I understand that this guy does transform into perfect cell, but you get the point. He's pretty badly needed, I would say. Right, and then, you know, we could tie in what is a kind of like a low hype character. I mean, people will go, what? No, they're pulling their swords and shields out to defend Tien. That's cool. I'm not a Tien hater. I'm just saying he's like a low hype character. It's a fact. I'm sorry. It's like Tien, Dokkan Fest that, holds down second form Cell, and then Yellow Coin LR could be second form Cell. Boom. I think that's fine. I think that'd be a perfect lead in. And then June 3rd, so that's the 29th, I think, is the Dokkan Fest. I said somewhere around June 15th to 23rd. It's hard to say for sure. It's either this week or this week. Let me pull up a couple years of the June LR, and let's take a look here. Let me just pull up a couple of years of this and see what we're looking like. All right, gamers, here we go. So Tien was the LR. He was the 17th of June. Cellmax was the 18th of June. Goku was the 15th of June. Golden Frieza was the 21st. This was crazy because Vegeta and Trunks were on like the 30th. So it's like and literally, this is true. Golden Frieza and Vegeta and Trunks, I would argue, Vegeta and Trunks is like a top 5 character ever. Or argue with someone else. They're way up there. In terms of strength, they're like top 5 level. Golden Frieza is maybe the best Yellow Coin LR. Well, I guess I can't say that because of the original, like, line of Yellow Coin LRs. Like, Broly when he first dropped, Majin and Vegeta when he first dropped, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Like, they were the best characters in the game. Golden Frieza, even the day he dropped, was not the best. I don't think he was better than the 7th anniversary LRs, right? But, like, Golden Frieza is I don't know, at least, like, probably a top 30 character all time. Something like that, probably. And so, basically, my point is, we had 2 of the best characters of all time released in 9 days apart or some shit like that. It was crazy, right? And then we have Goku and Piccolo. They were the 17th. So you see how it does kind of, like, bounce all over the place? It's very hard for, like, I can't, this far out, I can't accurately predict it. I could just hit you with a window, right? Once we get into this celebration, which I'm, the TN celebration, once we get into it, we could, like, hammer down where the character's going to be. But, like, right now, just one of these 2 weeks is essentially what I'm thinking is where the character would drop. Then, the 30th, Dokkan Fest LR. I think this will be the start of TDC/Tanabata. Same thing. We're not really looking for, remember, it's just kind of like the last day, I would think, of June. That does fall on the weekday as well, right? So we see June 30th right there is a Tuesday, right? So that lines up perfectly, right? I think we will get a Dokkan Fest LR right there, excuse me. For the sake of this exercise, we could just call it Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, right? I mean, I know we did just get a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan last year, but, I mean, that is right up Dokkan's alley to do a Carnival LR Gohan, and then we'll do a Dokkan Fest LR of him this year, except the Dokkan Fest LR version would be, like, even better, even crazier, right? Better animations, all the good stuff. Yeah, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is probably a great candidate for some crazy Dokkan original level animations, huh? For sure, right? All right, so that's June 30th, right? And I would think, remember, in 2025, TDC was very weak. I thought it was a shitty celebration. Just not that good. All the Tanabata celebrations were crazy. They were incredible. July was always pretty much my favorite time of the year in Dokkan. Because, like, most of the year, like, I hated Global being months behind. I truly did. Because most of the months of the year, it's like the super fire shit comes out on GP, and then it's like, it just makes Global players upset, because, like, they're getting, like, fucking Ribrianne or something like that, right? So it's just like, Global players are feeling like they're being treated like shit. Oh my god, GP gets the new UI Goku, and we've got, Saiyan Saga Gohan and Piccolo or some shit, right? So, like, I've always been dying for Global to just be synced, so the hot shit would be on both versions. The problem is, when the game is dead, the game is double dead, because both versions are at, the same time. That is the thing that I underestimated would happen, right? But, oh, damn, I lost the point I was going to... Oh, yeah, July used to be my favorite time, because the Tanabata celebration was massive for JP. Probably the 3rd biggest celebration of the year, and it always felt so good. And then Global players were always having the time of their lives because the anniversary was on, right? So it's like everyone was happy. There was cool shit going on both versions. Like, 2020 July, 2021 July, 2022 July. cinema. It kicked ass, right? It was so good back then. So I think that Tanabata this year, I mean, I think they're going to call it TDC, but it's essentially going to be the return of the Tanabata celebration. I also think it will return to form. I think it'll be really good. I also do think, unfortunately, this is where we pull this up right here. All right, I do think last year the format to the schedule was better. And it also led to something I didn't think was going to happen, which was just a huge W for all players that I think we're going to lose, unfortunately, is that the 10th anniversary LRs returned on the GDC banners. So you had all of the best characters in the game just on the same banners. It was so good, right? It just was awesome, right? Those GDC banners were crazy. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that this year because GDC is in September / August. Right. So because of that, I think what's going to happen is exactly this. The anniversary LRs are going to return on, like, it's going to be the return of the Tanabata banner, unfortunately. I do think this is going to happen. So it's going to be the way it used to be, which is the Tanabata banner is a great banner to not summon on, but to use red coins. That's exactly what this banner is good for. Right. And that's would be my recommendation. I don't know what they're going to do with the Carnival LRs here. I guess we'll see. Maybe there'll be a second banner where you could obtain them. But, I mean, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen here. But this is likely going to happen. I think this is. And, like, I came in here. Rick said he agreed, and a lot of it had to do with the summon point thing, which we'll get to in 2 seconds. Actually, I guess we could transition right into that. But yeah, it looks like the Tanabata Part 2, probably 18th, 21st, which is where the typical LRs used to be. I don't think they're going to aim for the 7th of July like they did last year. Last year, it was smartly to match the global anniversary, right? But doesn't seem like that's going to happen here. And I don't, unfortunately, right? Well, I mean, there's no reason to be... GDC was perfect in that July spot to celebrate Global's anniversary. And, like, the characters dropping on the 7th, again, to celebrate Global's anniversary. But, I mean, I think JP players were like, well, we're confused about this. And they're like, well, better answer to the JP players immediately. So we're switching it back up. Again, I think this is where the JP players got it wrong. Like, if my theory is correct that this is due to feedback from JP players, I think this is a huge miss by them. I think the schedule is worse this way, but, I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah, I think that we'll get, like, a Dokkan Fest LR. Again, for the sake of this exercise, we'll say Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, July 20th-ish. You know, as Rick points out, not right there. Right here. Nope. Right here. Summon point thing, which I've got pulled up right here, right? So here's the summon points, and as we can see, it goes until the 20th. Should be Tanabata Part 2, or when the Part 2 LR will drop with Tanabata, right? Which I think is a Carnival. And then, of course, here's this, which, you know, again, 20th. For the sake of this exercise, we could say that the Carnival LR would be perfect cell, right? I think that actually, I think is a pretty good, I like it myself. Tien, second form cell into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and perfect cell. I think that works pretty well. Or, well, I was going to say, people might mention, oh, but what about Super Vegeta? But remember, like, that June Dokkan Fest is typically, like, it's going to be a low level. Like, Super Vegeta, you know, people would want to voice Final Flash from him anyway. That's not, like, they don't want, Super Vegeta needs to be like an LR somewhere, not like a regular Dokkan Fest UR, right? So we got that. Then July 31st is a little bit of a quick turnaround. Let's actually look at the 20th of July here. So, like, yeah, like right around there. And then the next week, Friday, the 31st, I think that would be a Dokkan Fest. Again, a low-level character. Previously, why don't I just pull up a couple of the previous versions of this character? I'm going to skip 2025, and I'm just going to pull up, like, the different versions of this character in that time slot. Hold on. All right, so we got this pulled up. Honestly, this wasn't, like, a totally bottom-of-the-barrel character a lot of these years, huh? Maybe it's because there is no Part 2 LR, which I have accounted for on, you know, the whole point of this. Peppy Gals is kind of in there, so sometimes they do kind of, like, lead into, like, a bigger Dokkan Fest, I guess, than, like, a normal super low hype character. So Roshi was the 31st of July. Trunks was the 31st of July. Pan was the 29th of July. Super Vegeta was the 30th of July. And then Gohan was the 31st as well. And again, if we look at the way it landed, Pan was very early. I bet it's because probably like the 30th and 31st were the weekend for. I'm curious. Let me pull. I bet you if I pull up July 2022 calendar, the 30th and 31st is Saturday and Sunday. Watch. I bet you. Yeah. See, I'm telling, like, bro, like I got it. Like I know how to do it. I know what I'm doing here. This is something like yeah, I know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm doing here. Okay. So I could see that from a mile away, right? Again, we're aiming for kind of like that last day, but the weekend will interfere with it. So you just need to be prepared for that, right? So yeah, that's the 31st. And then somewhere the 17th to the 20th, I kind of am targeting this week right here, although maybe it could be like the 14th or 13th. Probably not. It's probably the 17th to the 20th. In this range will be Peppy Gal stuff. I just pulled up my streams. So here's last year's was the 18th. 2 years ago was the 14th. 3 years ago was the 17th. So kind of just like generally in that area. And then remember again, GDC, what used to be the Worldwide Download Celebration, usually started just a little bit earlier. That wasn't like boom, like we're landing on the last day of the month. That one didn't usually operate like that. Let me just pull up a couple of characters of previous Worldwide Download Celebrations, and let's look at what the dates are for these boys. All right, so this is easy. So it's just Goku every year. I mean, obviously, it's Gokus that transform or have other characters or something. So the 29th for 2020, here's Namek Goku. The 28th, here's, the cooler movie Goku. This is also the 28th. The blues right here, they were the 27th. This is Blue Vegito. And then, of course, we got the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. This is also the 28th. So, yeah, funny enough, that's looking at the way the calendar lines up. The 28th is where I expect GDC to begin this year. Now, that's kind of like where I stopped this exercise. Is kind of like the start of GDC. Keep in mind that I am anticipating... I've been saying this in videos a lot. I was expecting... Dragon Ball Super Beerus to debut in October, and we have started to see a little bit of information trickle out about that. Hold on. Yeah, so right here, right? So, expected to premiere in October. I mean, that was, we could see that coming a mile away. If you know, you know. So, all right. There we go. This is what I'm thinking we are going to be looking at right here. Now... I mean, if I think something's going to be wrong, maybe because it's a little bit different, potentially the start dates of like Tanabata, TDC, or GDC could be slightly altered, like could end up being a little bit different for sure. But generally, the structure of the next couple of months, this is the way I expect it's going to look. So, like players who are very upset about the state of Dokkan, just like not a lot of content or Ori events and stuff like that, I certainly don't expect that to change, like June 30th. I think like right around here is the next time the game will kind of be hot and it will be exciting for a lot of people. In terms of like the RE content, to me it feels as though like a realistic point where we could get a fix to this or closure to it or whatever would be GDC. I do think. I think like it's too optimistic to think it would be stopped before GDC, in my opinion. Because remember, these are, like, the structure of these celebrations and these characters and stuff, this is made well in advance, right? So, I'm sure they have a lot ready, like, they're potentially, like, it was always just a test or whatever, who knows, right? With the time limit of content, but to me, GDC feels like a realistic point where maybe they return them and then they leave them. The events stay and they stop doing the fact that they, drop and then leave, right? That to me feels, again, as I said, realistic. Who knows? Maybe the stages are just added to the overall Ultimate Red Zone and Supreme Innocent Battle we've got live. Hard to say for sure. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, that's some of these dates I'm sure I'll get wrong, but I'm probably a lot of these banners and stuff, I'm probably either exactly on the day or like one day off. I bet you for a lot of this. So let me know what you guys think about the upcoming few months, I think, of how Dokkan will look. And I'll catch you guys next time.